make further progress. Uh, so, we will briefly recapitulate that yesterday we discussed the landmark judgment of Justice Chandrachud and Justice M.R. Shah in Supreme Bhiwandi Vada Minor Infrastructure Limited versus State of Maharashtra, which clearly laid down the principle following the earlier judgment that for the purposes of passing order under Section 156(3) CRPC, the judicial magistrate need not record the evidence of the complainant or the witnesses. That followed the various judgment. And we also discussed a very interesting judgment of three-bench judgment of Justice Sarkaria, Justice Singhal, and Justice Jaswant Singh in the famous mm, case of the Devarpalli Lakshminarayan Reddy's case, where the ratio laid down by the court, which held from the year 1976 more than 20-25 years, this judgment has held the field. Beautifully explained judgment as to in what cases the learned magistrate take in cognizance, what is a pre-cognizant stage and a post-cognizant stage. In paragraph number 17 of the judgment, their lordship had mentioned that once the learned magistrate has passed an order under the provisions of it, section 200, read with 190A, he cannot switch back. He cannot switch back to pre-cognizant stage. I mean, having exercised the power, having passed the order under section 156(3), for example, so he was not under obligation to record evidence. Having passed an order under 156, and the matter closes. So we come to know that from the judgment of the Supreme Court yesterday, Gunduluru's case, the chapter is closed. Then the police officer will take over. Then he will submit the report. Then the judgment of Lakshmi Narayan Reddy says, having passed order under 156(3), the learned magistrate cannot switch back to the pre-cognizant stage and avail of section 156(3). I mean, it is either way. I mean, having taken cognizance, for example, under 200, he has recorded evidence. Then recorded evidence mean either he has to issue process or he has to postpone the process. But he cannot switch back, mean he cannot pass order under 156(3). At the most, he can pass order under section 200, directing the police to investigate or himself hold the inquiry or inquiry by other magistrate as under section 192 CRPC. But he is not competent to switch back and pass order under 156(3), having resorted to 200 sub clause 1. That was the contention which has not been appreciated in the present judgment, which I am going to discuss, the three-bench judgment. Please open. It's a very interesting point raised in the latest judgment authored by Justice Nariman, Rohinton Nariman. Rohinton Nariman, the bench is a three-bench judgment. Nariman, Justice Suryakant and Justice Ramasubramaniam. The judgment I had shared with you, it is a title there, Vinubhai Haribhai Malviya versus State of Gujarat. Please open this judgment and we will discuss the judgment. 16th October 2019. When this judgment was passed and uploaded, there is an article I shared of the senior advocate, Mr. Ram Jethmalani, now the member of the parliament, has expressed his dissatisfaction over some of the observation in this judgment of Justice Nariman in Haribau's case, Malviya's case, inter alia, recording that the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court in Dorapalli Lakshminarayan's case should not have been overruled, or observation should not have been passed that paragraph number 17 contains a erroneous proposition of law. And first, after going to the judgment of the Supreme Court I will take you to the article, which is an enlightening article. He throws light and is worth reading that article. According to me, he raises a very valid point. According to me, because we know under the scheme of the Indian Constitution, when a three-bench judgment, previous judgment, is subsisting and which has held the field for more than 15, 20, 25 years, another bench of equal strength cannot not naturally set aside the orders or criticize the judgment because, in fact, if any doubt, reservation is there, they will have to say that the matter should be referred to the Constitution bench, a larger bench which will resolve the controversy. But the bench of Justice Nariman, having elaborated an entire case law, more than 50, 60 case law they are discussed. Some of the relevant will go through, and they have rendered a beautiful judgment, placing on record there are 4 previous 3-bench judgment which were not taken into consideration by the bench of Devarpalli Lakshminarayan's case. And the Devarpalli has also not taken into consideration the definition of the expression investigation under section 2H, and they also not taken into consideration the the provisions of section 173 subclause 8, which permits further investigation. And we'll go through this. Please open the judgment, and when you read this judgment, according to me, half the CRPC or entire CRPC will be clear to you, because it's a beautiful judgment. They have given a narration of fact, how the investigation start, how the trial start, what is the role of a magistrate, what is the role of a police officer, when the proceedings are dropped by the police officer saying that there is no case, and what should the magistrate do, where a cognizance can be taken. And according to me, it's a very enlightening judgment worth reading. Please open it up. I will discuss the outcome of the judgment, the ratio, reading each paragraph, and we'll only read the relevant paragraph which is concerning us, because the judgment is very vast. I will skip certain portions. Please kindly open this judgment. Yeah. Yeah, this is a judgment dated 16th October 2019. The more recent judgment, latest judgment of the Supreme Court. It is a judgment rendered by Justice Nariman, Justice Suryakant, Justice Ramasubramanian, authored by Justice R.F. Nariman. Now see, the case arises out of first information report referred to, which was lodged on so and so date. Okay. This is from the Gujarat High Court. FIR is by Nitin Bhai Magun Bhai Patel, power of attorney holder of Raman Bhai B. Patel and Shankar Bhai Bhagunan Patel, who are the alleged residents of UK and USA. Because some of the judgments are there, a power of attorney cannot hold the criminal case is erroneous, but if the power of attorney holder is aware of the facts of the case, he can file both criminal case and civil cases. So this criminal case is filed by the power of attorney holder, the constitutive attorney, by the complainant who are in USA. Yeah, the government, see, the gravement of the complaint made in the FIR is that Vinubhai Haribhai Malviya is blackmailing these two gentlemen with respect to agricultural land, which is just outside the city of Gujarat and which is admeasuring so and so square meters. The signature not verified digitally nor by so and so. On 29/106, the FIR alleges Raman Bhai Patel and Shankar Bhai Patel are absolute and independent owners of the land and having obtained it from Bhika Bhai, Kushu Bhai and his wife Bhika Bhai in the year 1975. See, the adjoining neighbors of agricultural land are filing the criminal complaint against the neighbor inter alia, complaining that certain lands have been encroached upon by them. That is the crux of the case. It's actually purely a civil matter which is sought to be painted into giving a criminal color in the matter, and it is possible parallel proceedings are maintainable. Please note that both a civil case, you may be having a civil case for specific performance of a contract or for declaration of ownership right. At the same time, a parallel proceeding, if somebody has encroached upon your land, trespassed upon your land, or fabricated your document, you can lodge it So there is no bar in invoking that jurisdiction. Kindly note that. Then the FIR then narrates that because of the recent price hike of lands in the city of Surat, the heirs of Bikabai and Bikaben, together with Vishubai, Harubai, Malviya, and Manubai area, have hatched a conspiracy in collusion with each other and publish a public notice under the caption "Beware of land grabbers." So the one neighbor blaming the other neighbor that my land is being grabbed by the other neighbor. A public notice is given in the newspaper in the Surat, beware of land grabbers. Vishnubai, who in turn contacted Nitin Bhai and lodged a FIR. Accordingly, Nitin Bhai, Vinu Bhai, Malviya demanded an amount of 2.5 crore in regard to settle the dispute in respect of the land. So, a ransom amount has been demanded 2.5 crore by the present appellant, who is the neighbor, that I will settle the dispute, you give me this much money. This is a blackmailing tactics, nothing short of it. That is according to them, the FIR. It is alleged in the FIR that apart from attempting to extort money from the said Nitin Bhai, the heirs of Bika Bhai and Bika Ben together with Hari Bhau and Manu Bhai have used fake and bogus Segat Satat and power of attorney. That is, Satat mean maybe the title deeds. In Gujarat, it may be power of attorney in respect of the said, and tried to grab the land from the lawful owners, Raman Bhai, Shakan Bhai. So attempt is made to encroach upon the land by fabricating bogus document. In short, that is the sum and substance of the FIR. Then the background to the fact the fact that one Kushu Bhai was the original tenant of the agricultural land bearing number so and so, so and so. Kushu Bhai died after which the son Bika Bhai became the tenant in respect of the place. Bika Bhai died on so and so date, and his wife died in so and so. A public notice was given in Gujarat Mitra and Gujarat Darpan Dainik by the heirs of Bika Bhai, stating that Raman Bhai so and so Bhai are the land grabbers and are attempting to create third party interest in the said property. This led to the legal heirs of Bika Bhai through power of attorney holder applying. So, in the wake of the death of the original tenant, the landlord thought the tenants are dead and gone, why not grab the property? That was the attempt. But you know that under the provisions of Maharashtra Rent Control Act in Bombay, the then Bombay Rent Act, which was also applicable in Gujarat, the heirs and legal representatives are entitled to be brought by virtue of Section 511C of the Bombay Rent Act. You know, like under Section 211C Code of Civil Procedure provision, the heirs can be brought on record. And under Order 22 Rule 4 के हिसाब से the heirs can be brought on record is not disputed here. So, with a view to grab the property, the landlord, the tenant having expired, the newspaper advertisement was given. Then see. Then next, para number 3. Pursuant to the filing of the FIR, investigation was conducted by the police, which resulted in a charge sheet dated so and so being submitted to the judicial magistrate first class. And the said magistrate took cognizance and issued summons to the accused regarding offences under 420 cheating, 465 fabrication, 467 forgery, 471 falsification, 384 cheating by impersonation, 511 attempt to fabricate the document was filed. So here, very important, from this paragraph number T, what should you know that here? The learned magistrate took cognizance. Cognizance mean here when FIR was lodged. When FIR was lodged, the police officer has forwarded the FIR under section 155 to the learned magistrate, and the police officer submitted charge sheet under section 173 after collecting evidence under the provisions of the CRPC 175, 176, 178, 179. So when a charge sheet is filed under 173. So when a charge sheet is filed, it is a, what kind of a trial this is? You learned it here. Trial before the magistrate and a warrant triable case. Isn't it? We learned it here. because this is being tried before a magistrate. That was the so the magistrate. The no sooner the charge sheet was presented to him, as I told you yesterday, the magistrate is under no obligation to accept the charge sheet. He may say that I am not taking cognizance. He may tell the police officer, the cognizance I am not taking, let the case be dismissed. Or if the magistrate is satisfied, he will take cognizance and issue process under the provisions of section 204 CRPC. यहाँ तक सीखे आपने. Okay, now come next. Then, pursuant to the summons, the accused appeared before the magistrate on so and so. Accused number one, oh bhai, further number one, accused number one, Varu bhai, for further investigation under 178. A very interesting point. This point, none of the judgment we discussed earlier, we discussed this point. Now we are discussing section 173(8) of the Code of Civil Procedure, referred to CRPC, and after application under for discharge. Now here in this application, now here the accused person against whom process was issued under 204, he came before the magistrate, my lord, let the police officer further investigate the matter. Please note that. See, further investigation application provision was not there in the earlier code of 1879. See that here? Now please open section 173(8) CRPC. Now 173, if you open, it is a charge sheet. Now first paragraph say that charge sheet must be filed without delay. Okay. Now 73 1A says, in cases of rape cases, all outraging the modesty, the charge sheet must be filed by the police officer within a period of within a period of 2 months. Kindly note that. That is item number 1A. 2 के अंदर he must take cognizance on a police report giving full particulars. Then name of the accused, name of the information, name of the person appeared, then who appeared, what is the accused, when is the arrest take place, then what has been, whether he has been forwarded to under section 170. When an accused person is forwarded under 170, that when the police officer writes in his diary, there is sufficient material to proceed. Send, accused may be sent. When there is no material to proceed, he will send the report under section 169, inter alia, stating that evidence is deficient. There is no evidence to proceed in the matter. So I am therefore requesting the honorable magistrate to pass appropriate orders. But he cannot dictate to the magistrate to dismiss the case. But nor he can say that here I am passing an order of discharge. No, he cannot do that. He can say that there is no evidence. My recommendation is that here the accused need not be sent for trial. When the police officer, after submitting the report under 173, is of the opinion that there is substantial material against the accused, then under section 170, his role comes into play. He will tell the learned magistrate, my lord, your honor may kindly proceed further in the matter, and there is sufficient material to proceed against the accused person. 170 cover. Now please open 170 I am giving you. 170 में check आप when evidence 169 पहले में कहता है कि when evidence is not sufficient, the police officer has the right to tell the magistrate not to proceed. But we learned from the Malviya's, the earlier one judgment of the Supreme Court, even if the police officer has given report that there is no evidence, under the judgment of Abhinandan Jha's case, see, I had given you Abhinandan Jha, that is a judgment of the Supreme Court, where that is, if you may recall it, AIR 1968 Supreme Court, page number 117, judgment of Justice Hidayatullah and Justice Vaidyanathan, where they beautifully regard, where this was a Bihar case, where the complaint was made before the magistrate. Please just I'm giving you, I think I discussed this. Complaint was made against the by the father of the girl that my daughter has been kidnapped. Yeah, there's a kidnapping taken place by the accused person. FIR was lodged in the case of Abhinandan Jha's case. The police officer, after investigating the report, he submitted that I have examined, taken the statement of the girl and the boy. The girl said that she was not kidnapped. She has eloped. She was in love with the boy. Huh? She was in love with the boy. They got married. So the police officer sends a report under 169 that there is no evidence and the matter be closed. And the magistrate here may reject the police officer's report, and the court said magistrate can take suo motu action under 190C. Why? Because the father of the girl has filed a protest application in Bihar police station that the contention of the police officer, my daughter has eloped, is wrong. In fact, she was kidnapped. देखिए यहाँ पे two version है. The police officer says, I have recorded the statement. She is not kidnapped. She has been eloped. I mean, by consent, she has gone with the boy. So where is the question of committing any crime? But the father doesn't agree. Then he will give a protest application. In that event, what does the magistrate do? He doesn't accept the report of the magistrate, but he will treat the complaint as a complaint under section 190C. 190C पढ़ो अगर आप दोबारा of the CRPC. 190 says the magistrate can take cognizance upon a information received from any person other than a police officer. So the police officer's report is rejecting. Okay? And upon his own knowledge. Now the learned magistrate, why his own knowledge? The father of the girl is filing protest application number 1, and he has perused the case diary of the police officer, and he has also perused the report of under 169. Magistrate forms the opinion that somewhere something is wrong. The police officer is siding with the boy and not recording the proper complaint, and there is a collusion. So there is a suspicion in the mind. In that event, the magistrate will say that here, I am rejecting the report and I am proceeding with the complaint under 190C. That is the complaint here. Or the judgment said, Abhinandan, the magistrate is also entitled to pass order under section 156(3). This I gave it to you. Please note that way back in the year 1968, the Supreme Court has passed this judgment. Unfortunately, this judgment also had skipped the attention of Devrepalli Lakshminarayan judgment, where Devrepalli's case, it says here, the magistrate cannot switch back and pass order under 156(3). But here in the case of Abhinandan Jha, the magistrate is switching back. having earlier taken cognizance, number 1, after having finding that no case is made out, then again third inning is being played. The magistrate says that the police officer has a right to, I have a right to pass order under 156(3). It's a very beautiful judgment. So that was the context now. Now please come back to again Gujarat judgment. Now in the light of this here, come back to the judgment of Malviya's case. Then further investigation 39. Yeah, paragraph number 4. 4 में आ जाइए. Meanwhile, on 26/7/11, application so and so was moved by Vishnu Harubai and the accused to register FIR for the magistrate to order investigation under 156(3). Like here, see, already one case is pending against Malviya. Malviya said that I also have been cheated, I have been duped. So, in the pending complaint against him, he tells the magistrate, you pass order under 156(3). Earlier, he has made an application that police may further investigate under 173(8). Now, come back to 173(8). I will read it here. When charge sheet is already filed, see, when already charge sheet is filed, in the judgment of Devrepalli Lakshminarayan says, when charge sheet is filed, that is the post cognizant, you cannot come back to magistrate. Now, 173(8) says that nothing in this section shall be deemed to preclude further investigation in respect of an offence after the report under subsection 2 has been forwarded to magistrate, and whereupon such investigation the officer in charge of a police station obtains further evidence, oral or documentary, he shall forward to the magistrate a further report or report regarding such evidence in the form prescribed, and the provisions of subsection 2 6 shall as may be apply in relation to such report as the case may apply in relation to the report forwarded under subsection 2. So it is very interesting. Now, section 173(8) comes into play when, number one, the police officer must have already investigated the entire crime. Then he must have filed a report under 170. Yes, there is substantial evidence against the accused. I am filing charge sheet. So he files a charge sheet under 173. So that means charge sheet file ka matlab end of investigation. Investigations are completed. Then after filing the charge sheet, the police officer goes to the magistrate. He makes suo motu an application, or an application is made after receiving a complaint from the victim that I have further discovered more facts. And those facts further needs to be investigated. If new facts are ascertained, then you have to further reinvestigate, re-examine witnesses, isn't it? And after re-examination, you can file further report under 173. That is called supplementary charge sheet. In the language used in Maharashtra under the police manual, because the word expression charge sheet is also not used in CRPC, it is used in the police manual of various states, including Maharashtra state. So they also use the word further investigation के अंदर 173(8) के अंदर they will take the permission. Now this particular provision, please note that 173(8) was not the subject matter of discussion before the bench of Devrepalli Lakshminarayan's case. That is EIR 1976 Supreme Court, isn't it? EIR 1976 Supreme Court 1672. So, in the wake of the fact that further application is made for further investigation, what is the course open? The magistrate can again order investigation under 156(3). Please note that. So that means following Devrepalli's judgment, the magistrate having taken cognizance, having issued process, it is not open for him to switch back to the pre-cognizant stage. According to the bench of Devrepalli, passing an order under section 156(3) is a pre-cognizant stage. That means before issuing process, the learned magistrate passes an order under 156(3), which has not been accepted and approved in this judgment, because the judgment of Devrepalli does not take into consideration what is the effect of 173(8). 173(8) के अंदर further evidence is allowed. So this was not accepted. Now they also discussing. So in the Gujarat judgment, the gentleman Haribau has taken both the options. Number one, he made the application under section 173(8), requesting the police to make further investigation, and he also took out another application that this honorable court be pleased to pass an order under section 156(3), that is an independent power of investigation. Now let us see what does the Gujarat magistrate does and what take place here now. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Para number 4. On 26 July 20, meanwhile, on 26 July 2001, criminal miscellaneous application was moved by Vinubhai Malavia and the accused to register FIR to magistrate to order investigation under 156(3) into the facts of the case. This was rejected by the magistrate on zone. So, application was rejected by the magistrate. What ground will then? पैरा नंबर 5 पे आ जाइए. Separate criminal revision application were filed before the Sessions Court Surat. So, because the order rejecting application under 156(3) is not an appealable order. So, when appeal doesn't lie, what is the remedy? Revision would lie under section 397 of the CRPC and 401, both to High Court or to the Sessions Court. The parties first normally go to Sessions Court. Now they went to Sessions Court Surat here for dismissal against the order and further investigation, and the order rejecting FIR concerning both. So both the applications were rejected, mean for recording evidence under section 173(8) as well as application for investigation under 156(3) was rejected. Now let us see. It is very noteworthy here that the matter of which the prayers are made in these revision application, all the matters are pertaining to complaints of the case. Hence, it is very necessary for the purpose to carry out detailed further investigation of the complaint. All the matters should also be investigated. But the aforesaid is not necessary. They have separate complaint regarding the investigation. But very covering the investigation also, complaint of the matter, it found out such investigation that any offence was complained, then appropriate criminal proceeding can be initiated against such order. So, then that is the observation. Now, pursuant to this order, investigation handed over. That means the revisional court accepted the application. The revisional court said that here, yes, new material is come on record. The new material is required to be further investigated. Further investigation under 173 can be passed. Now, let us see 163. Para number 6 pe aa jaiye. Pursuant to the order, the investigation was handed over to the investigation officer, R.A. Munshi, on so-and-so date, when submitted further investigation report, one within 3 days, and so-and-so, and the I.O. Munshi was into facts of the case. In the mention and 173 application that were filed, the original accused withdrew the criminal application filed before the court, which was filed challenging the order, with the learned revisional court has confirmed the order rejecting the discharge application with liberty to move an appropriate application for discharge before the magistrate. The High Court heard the application. Together with criminal application, arrived at a conclusion that the matter in law, magistrate does not possess power order for the investigation. So the matter further went to the High Court by the other side. The High Court took the view that here there is no provision for further investigation. Probably the attention of the High Court has skipped to section 173(8). Probably the High Court has taken into consideration the judgment of Devrapalli's judgment and the provisions of section 362, which says that the criminal court has no power of review. I mentioned to you that you must bear in mind the provisions of section 362, the court not to alter judgment, and there is no revisional powers. That was the contention, the High Court. So, Session Court allowing it, the High Court rejecting it. Now, let us see further what happened. The matter goes to Supreme Court. Yes. Then the High Court further the High Court further castigated the I.O. Munshi, holding further furnishing interim investigation report, not so and so date. Until the High Court further found that 2 interim investigation report acquitted the accused person, and therefore the High Court set aside the judgment of the learned additional session judge, and consequently further interim investigation so far as the criminal application was disposed of by learned session judge without considering the merits in the case. The High Court remanded the same matter back insofar as the allegation contained in the application additional, the judge rejecting the application 156.3 of the CPC, and so several other proceedings and so on. So in short, the Gujarat High Court did not agree with the order of the Session Court, Surat, holding that the police officer does not have power to reinvestigate, and the police officer, magistrate, also has no power to order further investigation either under 173(8) or under section 156(3). And the the session judge had earlier discharged the accused person in the old case, following that there is no case made out. So the High Court remanded the matter back to the magistrate to try the matter as was filed originally under the provisions of 407, cheating, misappropriation, forgery, or try kijiye without looking into the further report of the Munshi. Now let us see that further investigation. Then now paragraph number 8. On the other hand, see, then paragraph number 7, the observation, Mr. Dushyant Dave, the learned senior advocate appearing on behalf of the appellant, forcefully argued that placing on record a number of provisions in CRPC, number of judgment, that the High Court was wholly incorrect as a matter of law in holding that post-cognizance magistrate would have no power to order further investigation on a complaint. So this SLP was filed challenging the order of the High Court, dismissing the two applications, one under 173(8) and 153(3). So the arguments are recorded of the counsel for the appellant. Then in paragraph number, other side arguments are recorded in paragraph number 8 on behalf of Basant and Sri Navare, the learned counsel, appearing so and so. They emphasize that here power of the magistrate 178 CRPC that relied upon. So they took up the plea that the magistrate has no power under paragraph number 9 pe aa jaiye. The question of law therefore arises in this case is whether after a charge sheet is filed with the police, the magistrate has power to order further investigation, and if so, what stage of the criminal proceeding. So this is a very interesting point formulated by the bench of the Supreme Court. When a charge sheet is filed already, evidence is closed. Then I will also explain the position to you in CPC also. When evidence is closed.
Sir, here 362 में तो matter already closed ना.
Yeah, matter is closed, but new evidence is coming on record. Further evidence. Suppose after closing of the matter, evidence is coming, in between बाद में नया evidence record पे आ जाएगा तो क्या करेंगे? Like in CPC, you are allowed to bring on record new evidence by way of amendment under Order 6, Rule 17. बराबर ही? Now in CRPC में specific provision नहीं है for amendment के लिए, but there is a provision under 173(8). Nothing debars the police officer from taking further investigation and filing further charge sheet. Now similar power I want to show you in the Code of Civil Procedure. Just open Order 18 खोलो आप, CPC खोलिए. This is better to see. Code of Civil Procedure में जब issues frame हो गए, evidence खत्म हो गया, there is a provision, Order 18, Rule 17 check करो आप. Court may recall examine witnesses. Court may at any stage of the suit recall any witnesses and who has been examined subject to law of evidence to the time being. 17A, production of evidence not previously known which could not have been produced despite due diligence. वो withdraw किया है अभी. But under the CPC, civil court has wide power under 151. 151. So यहाँ पे you can make application. तो whereas CRPC के अंदर specific provision is magistrate को power नहीं दिया गया, mean there is no specifically mentioned direct provision, but indirectly if you read everything, you come to know from the language of section 173(8) it is provided. Like CPC के अंदर है इधर provision. Now uh, what does the Supreme Court say? Now let us see that here. Paragraph number 9 में the question of law. So when the charge sheet is filed, the matter is set for recording evidence. Can you again go back to further investigate the matter? Okay. Now Supreme Court beautifully crystallizes the position with regard to the power of the magistrate, power of the police officer. See para 10. The question, number 10. CRPC is neatly divided into 37 paragraph chapters. In this case, we are concerned with chapter 12, chapter 14, and chapter 12 is information to police and power. That is starting from section 154. I won't be reading everything. Then chapter 13 is titled jurisdiction of the court, which we learned here. 13 के अंदर starting from 178 onwards, will you know that here. Then para number 11 पे आ जाइए. Then trials, you see, charges under section 17 charges starting from section 210 onwards. Then chapter 18 and 19 are trials before the court of session starting from section 225 onwards. We learned trial before a court of session, trial before a magistrate in warrant cases, trial before a magistrate in otherwise than in warrant cases, then trial before a magistrate in summon cases and summary trial. We learned it here. Section 260 तक पढ़े आपने. Then para number 11 में आ जाए. The relevant provisions of section CRPC which are concerned are following. 156 तो पढ़े चुके हमने. Police officers power to investigate cognizable case. So I won't be reading, but we know that here any police officer in charge of police may, without the order of a magistrate, may investigate. So I won't be reading food. Then after investigation, he files the report. See, 173 police officer on completion investigation. Then subclause 8 is recorded. Nothing in the section shall be deemed to preclude further investigation. I just now read it out. So there is notwithstanding closure होने के बाद, the charge sheet file करने के बाद, evidence stage is started, the police officer can further file. Suppose for example a bomb blast case के अंदर दाऊद इब्राहिम के खिलाफ and some of the associated, we join them. They are in Karachi. Suppose tomorrow they are arrested and brought back to India. Can you not restart the investigation? 100% you can restart. Why not? Somebody had taken the plea that here some accused has run away. Out of 10 accused, only 2 have been tried. 10 लोग बाहर चले गए. We do not have extradition treaty with many countries. Suppose rightly or wrongly, fortunately, unfortunately, they came down to India. They were caught after 15 years, 20 years. Does it mean the police cannot restart the case? 100%. That is why they can recourse to, once again, the law can be set into motion under 156(3) and the trial can be reopened. That is the meaning here. आ जाइए फिर. Then they are discussing section 190, which I again won't read it. There are 3 types of cognizance when on a report from a complaint, that is a private complaint. A के अंदर, B dealing with a police case, that is FIR cases. Number C, I told you, when the police officer files a closure report, the magistrate disagrees with the closure report, like in Abhinandan Jha's case, and the magistrate can suo moto file a case under 190C is illustrated. Then subclause 2, the chief judicial magistrate empowered under subsection 2 within the meaning of commence the inquiry trial. That is a inquiry trial. Then 200 to padhe humne yesterday. Examination of a complaint. In the first paragraph, we learned that here, when the magistrate want to take cognizance, he has to examine the complainant and the witnesses. That is mandatory. उनका signature भी लेना पड़ेगा writing के ऊपर भी. Then the process is called taken cognizance. Then he will issue process under 204 if satisfied the case is made out. If he is, after recording evidence, if the magistrate is not satisfied, he will resort to 203 stating that no case is made out, I am rejecting the complaint. number one. Then in between, where they said, provided that when the complaint is made in writing, magistrate need not examine. So in what situation magistrate need not examine the complainant? Number one, when a case is made over, um, um, sorry, when if a public servant acting purporting to discharge the official duty, or the court has made the complaint. So when a police officer has made the complaint, when does the police officer makes the complaint? Anybody knows? Apart from the fact that charge sheet ke khilaf report is filed, when a police officer can file a complaint, private complaint? When the offence does not disclose cognizable offence. When it is a non-cognizable offence, under section 155, police officer cannot investigate nor can he arrest. But he can file a complaint to the magistrate seeking permission to take cognizance. That will come under 190 subclause 3. Then in which case the court need not examine. Then another, the case is when the complaint itself is magistrate is the complainant. Under 190 clause C, magistrate himself, we know that here from his own knowledge can take cognizance. So in which event he need not record himself, he cannot be recording his own evidence. Public officer की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. Number two, if a public servant acting purporting to act in discharge of official duty, court has made the complaint. Number two, the magistrate has inquiry or trial under 192. So 192 is a case where the judicial magistrate transfer the case from himself to a subordinate magistrate, maybe judicial magistrate second class, to try the matter, make inquiries. Make inquiry. In such a event, because this is after taking cognizance, so there is no requirement of examining the magistrate. There is no need to re-examine any witnesses. That is the decision. That the provided for that the magistrate makes over the case to another magistrate under one end. Then 202 deal with postponement of process. Yesterday discussed. No, under 202 is a procedure where the magistrate on receipt of a complaint authorized to take cognizance who has made over a case under 192 may think fit, and in which case if he is not taking, because partly recording evidence, he is of the opinion that investigation necessary or inquiry necessary. If inquiry, he will hold the inquiry, or if there is the investigation required by the police officer or a private detective, he will appoint it here. So this investigation under 202 is not an investigation under 156.3. They are different. Because 156.3 is more powerful investigation, whereas under 202 investigation is more like an inquiry. So the power of a police officer are limited here. Then deciding that, provided that the direction investigation shall be made. Then number 3, where it appears a magistrate the offence is made out of a tribal exclusively. In a case is made out of a tribal is a court of session. In a court of session, the magistrate need not trouble himself. He need not record evidence here. Though he may have the right to pass investigation order under 156.3 to come to know whether the case is made out or not. But once he has applied his mind under 200, he need not record evidence in the case of a sessions tribal case. He may remand, he may transfer the matter. That is called the committal proceeding under 209 can take place. He need not even frame the issues. Session court will try karega. Then where the complaint has not been made, unless the complaint eyewitnesses have been examined on oath under 200. In an inquiry under magistrate may think fit evidence of a witness. Then provided it appears magistrate, the offence complaint of a tribal by the court of session, he shall call upon the complainant to produce evidence and examine him on oath. So this is the procedure which is followed by the magistrate in the matter of taking cognizance in the matter. Then see, 204 speaks of if in the opinion of a magistrate taking cognizance, he will issue process. He will issue summons, provided number one condition is that here all documents have been exhibited. See that here? Uh, every summon case shall be accompanied by copy of the complaint. 3, subclause 3. Then 4 checkery, when for the time being in force until court fees is paid in the matter, then nothing in the court shall affect the provisions of 87. 87 is the power to issue, process, summons or warrant. It being a summons case, if the if the accused is not accepting the summon, the magistrate can issue warrant under 87. Okay. देन सीआरपीसी का पूरा डिस्टर्बेंस किया इसके अंदर. कॉग्नाइजेबल ऑफेंस का डेफिनेशन दिया गया. दिस वी आर रेंट वेयर ए पर्सन वेयर द मजिस्ट्रेट कैन ट्राई द ऑफेंस अरेस्ट विदाउट वारंट. देन सेक्शन 2D के अंदर कंप्लेंट भी लिखे. कंप्लेंट में इट कैन बी ओरल और इट कैन बी राइटिंग में. अननोन पर्सन ऑल्सो कैन लॉज ए कंप्लेंट. इंक्वायरी अंडर सेक्शन 2G एक्सप्लेन. इंक्वायरी इज ओनली बाय मजिस्ट्रेट. Investigation 2H is only by the police officer or by a private person appointed by the magistrate, but not by a magistrate. Magistrate cannot hold the inquiry, investigation. That you know, that we learned it. Then that is how the Supreme Court has dealt with it here. Then paragraph number 14 check karo. The statutory scheme of CRPC, inquiry, trial, so and so. Sorry. Okay, para 14 पे आ जाइए. The Resfile mean the old code of CRPC 1899 did not contain a provision by which the police were empowered to conduct a further investigation in respect of the offence after the police report under 173 has been filed. Probably in Devropalli, Lakshmi Narayan's case, that must have struck the mind of the bench. Since there is no provision in the old code, then police officer has no power to re-examine, re-investigate. So we cannot put the clock back. We cannot put the clock back. That means direct investigation. That must be passing in the mind. It appears the bench has not taken into consideration the amended provisions of section 173 subclause 8. That has skipped the attention. That is a genuine mistake. That is called, when such a situation take place, when the attention of the court is not drawn, or the court has missed out certain event, that is called per inquiry. Like before the bench of Justice Chandrachud and Justice M.R. Shah, yesterday we read here in the Bhiwandi's matter, the attention of the Bombay High Court was not drawn to the earlier Supreme Court judgment in Gunduluri's case, NCP's case, that the magistrate need not record, examine witnesses or complainant when he is passing order under section 156(3). The Bombay High Court was under an erroneous impression that the Andheri magistrate has passed an order under section 156(3) without recording the evidence, without recording the statement of the complainant and witness, quashed the proceedings. So it was an error on the part of the High Court, which has probably, because the judgments are so many, it is not sometimes possible for judges and also advocate to keep track of it. But according to me, as a keen student of law, as a lawyer, you have to be aware of it. You have to keep reading the judgments. Of course, ignorantia juris is a non-excuse that in India. Ignorance of law is no excuse. You may skip it because there are so many floodgates of litigation. Sometimes it is not possible for judges and advocates to go through. But according to me, a vigilant advocate, now with your computer and Google being on record, it is easy for you to just click and find out whether judgment is overruled or not. You can make it out. So especially for the young members like you, young lawyers who are computer savvy, to help the seniors and judges, my lord, this particular judgment has been overruled. This judgment is disagreed with. So you should be a very alert junior. Then you will be appreciated by your senior and the bench in the matter. Because I am not blaming everybody. The courts are the seniors because they are over busy in the matter. So the attention of the Supreme Court, the Bombay High Court was not drawn to Gunduluri's case, where the Supreme Court has said clearly that magistrate need not examine the witnesses when he is passing order 156(3). Okay. Then come to, that is why while passing the order, the bench of the Supreme Court in Devarpalli Lakshmi Narayan's case, their attention was skipped to section 173 subclause 8. Huh? Okay. Then come to paragraph number 14 may see. Then they brought on record. See the 41st Amendment Commission forwarded the report Ministry of the right 89 Law Commission. Therefore recommended the addition of a subclause 7 in 73 in the code following. That is how the history of the code they are given. That is why this judgment beautifully incorporates all the judgment. Please go through the judgment. Then they also brought on record in paragraph number 16, right to fair trial is a concomitant under Article 21 of the Constitution. Right to fair trial means right to also have fair investigation. In Maneka Gandhi's case, her passport was denied. Her by own mother-in-law, not allowed to travel. The Supreme Court said ultimately, after examining the situation, it is not correct. She should be allowed. If a fair trial is not given, a fair trial is not given, that violates the fundamental right of the person applicant in the matter. Anandija, yeah, one judgment is little skip. I'll get back to the judgment. Yes. Paragraph number 17, they are discussing Maneka Gandhi's case. They are equating it to Article 21 fair trial. If there is no fair investigation, re-investigation is a denial of justice. Then the judgment of Supreme Court in Puja Paul is discussed. We won't go into it. Paragraph number 18, paragraph number 19 के अंदर 173(8) के बारे में डिस्कस किया. Armed with the power, the magistrates obviously has power to continue until the set point. Paragraph number 20 के अंदर interesting that the Kamalapati Trivedi versus State of Bengal, where this is one of the first judgment which has laid down that year provisions of 169 and 170, when the police officer sends a report that having no jurisdiction, there is no material, then the magistrate has to pass order under section 170. That means accept the matter. What is the time? If it is time, bataiye. Can you tell me what is the time?
7:37. 7:37 p.m.
7:30. We'll take this another 5-10 minutes. We'll stop. The judgment is long, and because this will take another 1 hour. Shall we stop it right now? Shall we come after that? Take another some time.
We can take after the break.
After the break? Yeah, we will take after the break. Anybody wants to ask me any questions so far? Bataiye. I am discussing with the case of paragraph number 20, that is Kamalapati Trivedi versus State of Bengal. याद रखिए मैं बात करता हूँ. So the concept is very clean to you from what we are reading it. Now further go through how they critically examine the provision and how the Supreme Court bench they disagree with the contention raised in Devrapalli's judgment, and which led to the senior advocate Mr. Ram Jethmalani, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani writing an article in that matter. Will share his opinion to that regard. So we will come after the break. Okay, after 10-15 minutes के बाद. Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.